My name's Nicole, and 10 weeks ago I went under PAO surgery, which is also called periacetabular osteotomy. When I was getting ready to prepare for this surgery, there weren't very many videos or people talking about it. So I wanted to make a video to help you understand what is going on, help your brain relax a little bit, and talk about it just a little bit. First thing I want to address is I know that this room is a disaster. I'm preparing for a wedding, and that is my shower chair that I used for the surgery. So it's a mess in here, I know, ignore that. Okay, so if your doctor told you that you have hip dysplasia and he recommended or she recommended to get a PAO done, firstly, I want to say, breathe. If you just found out that you have hip dysplasia and you have to go undergo this serious surgery, cry, let it out, be angry, be pissed, punch your pillow, and then gather your thoughts. Know that this surgery needs to be done, that the pain that you're living in isn't normal. People don't live in chronic pain every single day. This isn't the usual. People don't have to accommodate their days and change the way their schedule is going to look because the next day they have to go on a walk. The next day they're doing something in the day and they're going to have to take 3 Tylenol to make it through the day. Normal people don't have to do that. So it's okay to cry. It's okay to be upset. It's okay to be upset with your body. It's okay to be mad at the world because, of course, this happened to you. So that's first thing first. If you just got diagnosed, be mad, be pissed, be angry, be sad, cry. But know that this has to be done. And nothing you say or do is going to help besides a surgery to correct the way that your bones were structured. Okay, so now let's talk about the things that you may need for surgery. I was told to expect between 1 night to 2 nights staying at the hospital, so I planned for 3. I live over 2.5 hours away from where I had surgery done, so I wanted to be a little extra prepared just in case. So I personally packed 3 pairs of really loose underwear. I also, if you're a woman, I recommend buying like period underwear. Trying to deal with feminine products during this surgery is going to be a pain, a hassle. Everything hurts. So when you can wear something like a period underwear, even if you're like leaking through, it helps a lot. I also went to Walmart and I bought a pack of compression socks. I ended up wearing them because my legs turned like purple. It helps with blood clots and stuff like that, which they will have you on a blood thinner more than likely to monitor that and make sure everything's good. But I wore them because I felt more stable with them, and also I was very cold. Hospitals are extremely cold. So with that in mind, I brought a blanket. I also brought 2 robes, oversized robes. The last thing you want to do after surgery is put on tight shorts, tight pants. I really didn't even wear underwear during my stay because that incision mark is right on your bikini line and it's going to hurt. So I recommend a robe, or even personally, this is what I wore. I bought 2 muumuus and I wore those my entire stay, and I wore them for I think about 2 weeks. They were my saving grace. I also packed liquid IV. I did use it once. I would say I wouldn't bring it to the hospital. Have it at home for when you get home. You don't do a lot of drinking or eating when you first get home. I didn't have an appetite for like the first 2 weeks. It's a really brutal surgery on your body, so I recommend having that so when you do drink water, you are hydrating yourself properly. I also brought a hairbrush. Your hair from laying down constantly, it will knot up, it will get bad. Bring a hairbrush. I still recommend you bring your toothbrush and your toothpaste and all your hygiene products to keep you feeling normal. I also recommend an eye mask. I'm not a big eye mask wearer, but when it came down to staying in the hospital and then keeping the lights on all the time, eye mask, and then I also recommend earplugs. It gets noisy. I had an amazing hospital, but they're in there at least once an hour, checking on everything, making sure you're good, making sure your fluids are good, making sure the incision's good. So I'd bring that. I recommend bringing a sports bra. Do not wear a bra that has wires in it, you're going to be so uncomfortable. Wear a sports bra, something loose, something comfortable, something that's not going to bother you. They are going to make sure that you have a bowel movement before you leave the hospital, kind of against your will. They are going to push you full of things that are going to make you go. So if you're self-conscious about that type of thing, I would recommend bringing a bathroom spray or like a Febreze, something, because it's not a good time. I would recommend also bringing a like 10-foot long charger, because you're going to be doing nothing besides sleeping, being on your phone, and then that's pretty much about it. I would maybe recommend bringing an electric blanket or a heating pad and a ton of blankets. I would also recommend bringing your own grippy socks if possible, and your own pillow, your own blankets, and that type of stuff. It'll help you feel a little bit better. All you really need is your phone. I'm gonna be so honest. You're on so many medications. You're only awake for so much of it. You're going to be asleep for a good chunk of it. And when you are awake, more than likely you're just going to be scrolling TikTok or on Facebook and calling your friends and calling your aunts and uncles and telling them, hey, I'm good, everything's fine. Now I'm gonna go back to sleep. Okay, so you get discharged, you're told you're allowed to leave. Before they do make you leave though, you are expected to do, at least at my hospital, 1 bowel movement of number 2, and you have to show them, if you live like in an apartment or a house with steps, that you can do steps on your own, and you can walk like 10 feet down the hallway. Okay, so now on your way home, I had a 2.5-hour car ride. It was more towards 3. I heard that the car ride home was absolutely terrible, and I've had previous surgeries and they have all been terrible on the way home, but this one was really bad. I have to drive through a specific part of town that's city, and if it gets a lot of traffic, traffic jams, potholes, stuff like that, bring lots of pillows. Shove pillows on each side of you, by the buckle, by the cup holder, down by your feet. When you take a turn, your legs are going to slowly swerve back and forth, and this hurts. When you hit potholes, this hurts. It hurts quite bad, and no one talks about this. So whoever's taking you home, make sure you trust them to literally pad your car up. So now when you get home, whether that be a 10-minute drive or a 2-hour drive, I would recommend a wheelie chair of some sort. Whether that be a wheelchair or a computer chair, something that can make it outside from the house to the driveway. Have your partner or mom, dad, whoever, go into the house, grab the computer chair, grab a wheelchair, grab something with wheels. Have them bring it out to you, you sit in it, because you are going to be exhausted. And if you don't, just know that it is going to be extremely tiring getting inside of the house. That's more than likely the most amount of walking that you have done in 2-3 days, and it's hard. It's not easy. Now, when you finally make it inside of the house, you're going to pass out. You're going to be tired. You're going to be exhausted. You're probably going to go straight to sleep. If not, you're going to take a pain med and then go straight to sleep. I will say, in my experience, sleeping on a flat surface after this surgery was brutal. I first went into my bedroom and tried to sleep on my bed, and it was terrible. Everything hurt. My back hurt, my hip hurt. It was just extremely uncomfortable. I tried shoving pillows underneath my back. I tried shoving blankets underneath my back. I tried propping my head up. Nothing worked for me. So I personally spent my first 5 weeks in the living room on a recliner chair, sleeping there, living there. Now, there is a way to avoid this. There is a orthopedic pillow on Amazon. Now this helped my spine stay completely neutral. I already have an anterior pelvic tilt, so my spine never sits completely flat. When I lay down, it tilts up. This made my back lay completely flat, and it helped me actually stay comfortable without the recliner. Now, I recommend this 10,000%, especially if you don't want to live your life in a recliner or you don't have a recliner. This pillow, I recommend 10,000%. I actually recommend this one because you can remove pads from it. It has 3 layers of pads, so then you can slowly work your way down to nothing, and your body starts to slowly start tolerating it. I also recommend before surgery setting up like a bedside table or a table next to the recliner chair where you're going to spend a good chunk of your time. I set things out like deodorant, my ponytails, a hairbrush, stuff that would make me feel a little bit more human. I braided my hair a lot because, like I said, when you're laying on it 24/7, it knots up. It gets really bad. So I recommend having like a little bedside table set up with a water bottle, deodorant, some snacks, whatever makes you feel more human, set that up. Okay, let's talk about showering. I think I showered for the first time 4 days post-op. This is different for everybody, so don't take my word for it. I was allowed to take my dressing off. I was allowed to get it wet, but I was not allowed to submerge it. I would also recommend getting a shower chair. That's my shower chair. You don't need anything fancy, literally just something you can sit on. And when you do shower, have somebody with you. Please do not try this on your own. You aren't even going to be able to lift your own leg. It's going to hurt. Have somebody there with you, in the same room with you, or just right down the hall that can hear you. But have somebody help you get into the shower. Don't do this on your own. So for showering, I would recommend something very long for showering. So maybe like a loofah on a stick or just a long brush. You're not going to be able to reach your toes. You're going to have trouble reaching your back. You're going to have trouble reaching the bottom of your legs. If you're big into having your legs shaved, I personally would recommend buying those razors with the soap already attached onto the razor head. I'll put a picture of it now. I would recommend buying one of those because it's just one big swoop instead of having to go down there twice. More than likely, you're going to have trouble getting down that far, and it's probably going to hurt. Now, getting into the dirty bits, bathroom time. At the hospital, more than likely, they're going to have a raised toilet seat. I personally liked the raised toilet seat at the hospital, but I did not like the one I had at home. I recommend one specifically with handles on the side, so when you're going down, you have support. Getting down and getting up is the hardest part about using the bathroom. I personally don't use the raised toilet seat. I did at the hospital. Like I said, I liked it, but I've gone through 4 different surgeries and I kind of know how to lower myself. With the PAO, you're allowed to have 20% weight onto the ground. So don't be afraid to throw that leg out and then slowly go down. Don't be afraid to put a little bit of pressure. You're putting far less weight on it than you think. Now, something that I do 10,000% recommend. Special crutches. This is called a Moby leg, and she's a little bit old. I've had to duct tape her. I bought her off of eBay, and somebody else had her before me, so she dry rotted just a tiny little bit, so nothing a little duct tape can't fix though. So what's special about these crutches is it has suspension in them. It also rotates and moves the way that you rotate. I just recommend this because the suspension in these, it helps you out so much. Regular crutches suck. This is worth the money. I wouldn't buy them new though. They're expensive. I would find them on eBay just like I did. I bought the pair for I think $60, and trust me when I say it is worth it. Now, before I was on crutches, I was on a walker, and I do recommend going to like CVS, Walgreens, Walmart, and buying I don't even know what it's called. It's a tape, and you can put it around items to make them like softer. I personally put this around my walker because you're putting a lot of weight into your hands and into your arms. I legitimately have calluses on the bottom of my hands now from walking on a walker because you're too afraid to put a tiny little bit of weight down on your legs. You're going to be putting all of your strength into your upper body. So I recommend getting those to save your hands. Your hands are more than likely going to be very sore the first few weeks. Just be aware. Don't care if you don't use Facebook, if you think Facebook is for old people, whatever. Download Facebook. Join Periacetabular Osteotomy Facebook group. Now, I don't recommend posting medical advice and medical questions on there, but if you need help with certain things or you have questions about whether something's normal or something is abnormal, or if anybody else has gone through something similar and wanting to connect or wanting to get recommendations if something's not working, These people on here have been like my saving grace, and I recommend joining this group immediately. If there's anything that has to do with medical advice, please ignore it. Please only do what your doctor says. Follow that specifically. I don't care what Jennifer has to say. Ignore it. So use it as a resource. Don't use it as a solve-all though. Just use it as a resource. I just want this to help somebody out there because there's not a lot of people that talk about this online. And I wanted to help somebody out there that is possibly going through the same thing that I did. I probably missed about a million things that you probably have questions about and want to know about. If you do have further questions, drop them in the comment section. I will answer as soon as I can, as soon as I see it. I just recommend joining that PAO group and also knowing and being confident in the fact that this will be worth it. Know that you're not alone through this surgery. It is hard. It is heartbreaking. It's frustrating. It's miserable. But just know that you're not alone. People through all variety of ages have gone through this surgery and are really grateful that they went through this surgery. So you got this. Stay strong, and I wish you luck.